aircraft struck.
Makes me feel I've lost all control. Gravity is all that I know. She's over me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Saturday edition of the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. We are here once again for 2 hours of the Paranormal Portal, which is 2 hours of paranormal fun in my book. I hope you guys feel the same way. My headphones sound kind of muted here. There we go. I think that's better. So I hope you guys are ready to enjoy yourselves, kick back, relax, and be a part of the fun and festivities that is the Paranormal Portal. If you want to call in and be a part of the show, 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500 is your phone number. It is the passport to the Paranormal Portal. So that's how you get on the show if you want to share something with us. Otherwise, you can email us at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com if you'd rather just share something to be read for you. Or if you want to be a guest on our podcast, you get a bunch of stories and you're like, hey, I want to be on to share all of my stories. Well, then get a hold of me through the Paranormal Portal Radio at gmail.com. And we can schedule a time for you to come on and meet with me, and we'll record you and put it out there in the podcast universe for others to enjoy as well. So, but welcome to the show, everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend, and thank you for spending part of it with us here. And by us, I don't mean just me. I mean me and my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Me and my shadow.
Welcome to the show, Don. I'm not sure what to do there. You took me way off of my comfort zone. We went way out of my comfort zone.
That is my job.
It is. It's what you do. But
it's what I do, and I do it well. Dang it.
How you doing, brother?
Oh, I feel like I've been beat up. Well, anyhow, but no, it's hi, Howard Ponder. It's his first live show. How are you?
Oh, hey, Howard. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in and stopping in and being a part of the fun. And hopefully it's fun. But let us know later if you've enjoyed yourself.
But yeah, it's we're halfway through the weekend already, and I'm still wondering where the weekend begins.
You know, I don't know. I think the term weekend is kind of a relative thing.
I think it's kind of weak.
Ooh, maybe, but it is a relative term because, you know, many people have different schedules than just the Monday through Friday stuff.
Time is relevant.
It's relative.
It's relative. That's what I meant. Hi, I'm Don.
Hi, Don.
I'll be here tomorrow, too. Maybe not, because time is relative.
Well, it is. You can be here tomorrow if you want.
It's a relationship kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be.
Oh, boy.
I'm not sure where to go with that either. So
yeah, I'm going to let that one die.
But everything going good?
Yeah, all's good.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you back.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Good to have you here to help me drive the phenomena that is the Paranormal Portal. It's not easy to pilot alone.
That's true. That is true.
But yeah, we got hopefully a great show lined up for you. Let us know later if we're correct in that assessment, but I think we are. We always have a lot of fun here on the Paranormal Portal. Now, on these Friday, Saturday nights, this keeps coming up because we have a lot of new listeners all the time. Last night it came up, so I'm just going to say it on the front end that we do take half-hour breaks. Mm-hmm. Now, we do. The reason we do
the breaks aren't half hour.
No, yeah. We take breaks every half hour is how I should say it. I could use a half-hour break. I think. It's nap time, kids.
We only take the hours during marathons.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But the reason that we do that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the show, is that we are also broadcasting on TFR Live. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're simulcasting on TFRlive.com, which is our mother network. It's where the show started, and
network.
And that network is also broadcasting on iHeart Radio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And so there are half-hour breaks, which are scheduled into the night, and for us to stay
in sequence.
In sequence. Thank you for helping me find words. Sometimes I can't do that. That's why we have to take the breaks here on YouTube. So if you see a break, it's not because we're lazy. It's because we're just keeping everything in sync.
Sync. That's a better word than sequence.
Well, sequence, sync, whatever. We're there. And so that's a little background, but welcome to the show. And I don't know, Don, what do you think right off the bat? What are you feeling?
Do you know that Ozzy apparently released a stuffed bat with a removable head? Did you see that?
I did.
That's freaking awesome.
It's a little disturbing. And as I understand it, he didn't realize he was biting off the head of a live bat. He thought it was a toy.
Yeah, he thought it was a toy.
Yeah, but
now he's got a toy he can bite the head off. It's a little too late, but whatever.
Well, at least he appreciate the art. And the funny thing is I'm sure Ozzy was probably in a whole different place most of his career. So that might have looked like Sharon, how do I operate the TV? I used to watch the Osbourne show. He was always yelling, Sharon! Because he couldn't use the TV. He didn't know how to do that. They had some really big ass remote that he couldn't figure out and stuff.
That thing was huge, actually.
That was, yeah. It was pretty intense. So, but yeah, I did hear that. I did see that as well. So you gotta drop a lot of lines in the water sometimes, and I bet you
multiple streams of income.
Yeah, I bet you a lot of people will buy that thing.
I want one too. Yeah, he has second stage Parkinson's. Yeah,
that's what I heard. Yeah, that's too bad. But it could be Ozzy, or it could be your neighbor, it could be your in your family tree. You just never know who's going to end up with that stuff.
True enough.
Hopefully someday they'll figure out what the hell causes that, and make it not an issue anymore.
Well, we know it's not biting the heads off bats that cause it.
No, probably not. Although if you eat bat soup,
quick, get the lime.
Yeah, you might get a coronavirus or something like that.
The perfect side to a coronavirus is Lyme disease.
So, funny you should talk about bats because, maybe not biting their heads off, Don, but if you boil them in soup, you're looking for trouble. Apparently.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, apparently that coronavirus, ladies and gentlemen, is from some kind of exotic soup over in China where they basically take a bat and they don't even bother doing much with it. They just kind of throw it in the soup and go. And apparently that's not good for you.
Well, you know how bird flu came around, right?
So
there's this thing in China where if you're going to buy a chicken, you buy live chickens and you stick the head of the chicken in your mouth, and if it bites you, it's a bad chicken. But if it spits in your mouth, apparently you get bird flu.
Oh, come on, that's not real, is it?
That's it's as real as saying we get it from bat soup. Well, it's the same thing. But apparently that's how it came around. And green monkeys for AIDS and that kind of thing, So.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're always blaming animals, but it's probably some kind of science
You're
experiment.
a bunch of animals. Yes. So anyhow.
Probably something that got away from a Chinese lab, and now they're blaming it on soup. Yeah. I don't know. You never know.
It's really good.
Ooh, I got to fix this. This just fell.
Oh, yeah, that'd not be good.
Well, no, it wouldn't
just be ghosting between scenes.
Which it might be an improvement.
Hey, why are we going to the cutscenes?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What'd you do?
Time for a break. I dropped I got this pad that has all the scenes on it, and I just got to click a button, and it changes the scenes. That was
called the Gato.
It's Stream Deck. Yeah, it's called the Stream Deck. But yeah, I just folded it up accidentally. But anyway, welcome everybody, and let's get into some paranormals.
Yes.
Are you paranormal?
We might be a pair of abnormals.
100%. Not 100%. 100.
Yep, 100%.
100%. I'm 100% paranormal.
That's what the shirt says.
So we're going to talk right away from the singularfortean.com, which is the hot sheets. Singularfortean.com, ladies and gentlemen.
This is not a valid menu option.
It is tonight. It is tonight. We're going there. We're going there.
Mama? Is that you, Mama?
Apparently, it's not a valid menu option for us to talk about this article, but we're going to do it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what the hell that was. It happens randomly on the show, and I have no explanation for it.
It's only been since you've talked to Truth Seeker that it happened.
Yeah, that's right. That was when it started,
That's
wasn't
when
it?
it started.
What did Truth Seeker do over here?
I don't know. Maybe he was doing, like exercising some,
Yeah, the man's a phenom, so anything's possible.
That's
but
true.
Wow, I have no idea. But here's the thing. Apparently, Sasquatch allegedly was captured on Washington State Department of Transportation webcam. Appears to be a stationary object. And Don and I agreed. We kind of went over this the other night a little bit. But here's an article on the Singular Fortean about the very same thing. And let me put it up on screen.
Yeah.
Just so everybody can see.
It's all over social media, so we can show it.
It's what?
It's all over social media.
Yeah.
I know I'm not speaking well tonight. I apologize.
Okay. Okay, done.
Oh, God.
All right. I'm just goofing, man. I'm just goofing. I was just goofing. Well, I wasn't. I'm your Huckleberry.
I'll be a Huckleberry.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Anyhow,
All right. So it's saying a series of photographs posted to the Washington State Department of Transportation East's, I don't know, another acronym. WASDOT Twitter account purporting it to show a Sasquatch likely to have a prosaic explanation. And allegedly there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we've already uncovered this, but we're going to read this article anyway. Because it is making the rounds, and seems to be, look, there's a Sasquatch up on the mountain. Now, that is peculiar, but it says the photos were posted last Wednesday, accompanied by the caption, Sasquatch spotted. I'm not superstitious, just a little stitious. That's kind of funny. Have you noticed something strange on our Sherman Pass SR20 webcam before? If you look closely by the tree on the left, there looks to be something. Might be a Sasquatch. We'll leave that up to you. Observant viewers on the Twitter noticed immediately that not only were there no visible footprints in the snow, but the figure captured on camera did not appear to move, even though the presence of a car from one image indicates that the photos were taken over a period of time. And here's the photos. There's no car, there's a car, and this, of course, is the Sasquatch. The Sam Squanch.
Sasquatch.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not, obviously. Somebody put a cutout up there. Checking back in the webcam showed that the figure was still there 3 days later, days later. I don't know how many. WASDOT East all but admitted that the figure is a cutout in another tweet stating that our signal sign shop manager knows the truth behind it. I'll see what I can find out, but he's very tight-lipped. This is great. Do you have any other details on what this mystery man beast object might be? There's a story behind it. Our signal sign, there it is again. A further tweet suggested it's part of a prank or game run by the department, saying there's a story behind this, and it's not the first sighting of something to appear in front of this camera years ago. An inflatable alien was in front of it and moved around. And then there was a Christmas tree with a battery-operated lights. Now this. Okay. All right. So they say it's 100% not a tree trunk, which we can tell. And the story that will be revealed in February when we do our quarterly check on the camera. Promised another tweet by the WASDOT East. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not. However, this one's going around too, and I can't play it, obviously, because I don't even know if that's playable. There's just a link. Oh, I could play it.
Play that,
Yeah, but I don't have permission to play it, and I don't want to anger the YouTube gods. For those of you looking now, for those of you on TFR, iHeart, Tune In and Talk Stream, it's a picture from apparently a traffic camera up on what is this Squalmine Pass?
That's Stevens Pass.
Stevens Pass. It's a mountain pass where the roads are winding through this mountain pass, and there's trees. I mean, it's deep up there. It's not like there's a bunch of houses around here or anything. It's out in the scrub, but they have a traffic camera there to monitor that hill. And somebody put a Sasquatch cutout in front of a big pine tree that's in the snowy part up, elevated from the road by, I would guess, about 30 feet above the road.
Oh, so that's a little more than 30 feet.
Okay, a little more than 30 feet. But, you know, it's obviously a cutout because there's several pictures
Right.
over a time span showing a sunny day, an overcast day, a car in the picture, car not in the picture, and that figure does not move. So it's a cutout, just so
Right.
those of you out there
Now,
who are not on YouTube can understand what we're talking about.
there was another one. That one right there. That's Snoqualmie Pass right
That's
there.
Snoqualmie, okay.
And they're just trying to one up each other now.
Oh,
That's
gotcha.
all that is.
Okay.
Those Washington guys, jeez. Washington State Department of Transportation, WSDOT. They're a bunch of jokers.
They're just a bunch of funny guys. Okay. Got it. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's been exposed. It is not Sasquatch or even a relative. As far as I know. He might be related to a cutout. I don't know. I think that's interesting, though, because that stuff does kind of take a life of its own
It does.
on social media. That stuff spreads like hotcakes. Like, boom, gone. It's all over the place. It's viral suddenly.
Yeah.
So that's an
It's
interesting
a government
story.
entity.
Yeah. You'd think they'd take this a little more seriously, wouldn't you? Nope, they won't.
Disinformation.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to make a mockery of us believers, and that's not even nice.
No.
Maybe that's it, Don. Maybe they're trying to make a
That's-
mockery of believers.
we, yeah.
All right, you want to hear about some Project Blue Book?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from them in a while.
Well, it's the stars of Project Blue Book, which means it's the TV show. But let's see what they're up to, according to the singularfortean.com, once again, ladies and gentlemen. And stars of Project Blue Book discuss possibility of extraterrestrial contact on Good Morning America. So now, since they play a part in a TV show, obviously they're distinctly
They
qualified
are
to talk
experts.
about,
Yes.
what is possible and what isn't.
That's right.
It doesn't matter whether they believe in it or not. I mean, I could really care less what actors think. I think Ricky Gervais nailed it. It's like, these actors are people that pretend to be somebody. It's like a kid's game for adults. Like, pretend you're in the store and I'm going to rob you.
It's dress up.
It
dress up
is. It's just playtime. And now, granted, I love being entertained by movies and stuff. I really do. But when we start elevating these same people as being larger than life characters themselves, that's when we're falling short. That's when we're creating, quote unquote false idols or whatever you want to call it. It's like, oh, there's that waterfall again.
What did this happen?
Last night happened for the first time again. I know Chris has been
Yes.
having trouble with Skypes
Ah.
as it relates to TFR. So this could be a byproduct of the Skype upgrade, which screwed up a whole lot of things.
Yeah, no doubt.
Which, whenever Microsoft touches anything, it becomes ugly. So
It goes right out the window.
so again, mental exercise, pretend we're by a waterfall.
And you do not have to pee.
And you don't have to pee. But anyway, the whole idea of elevating these actors as these, I played a part in a show, so I'm an authority, is ridiculous.
Right.
I don't care what they think about anything. Just get on the screen and pretend to be something and entertain us. I mean, I don't mean to degrade anybody, but, just because you can pretend something doesn't mean that you're uniquely qualified to, be an authority on anything in life. I mean, you're really not qualified to be anything. You're just good at pretending to be things. So, let's see. It says, 2 of the History Channel series Project Blue Book, 2 of the stars, rather, appeared on Good Morning America earlier this month, where they were asked if they believe in the subject matter portrayed on the show. Neil McDonough, who plays General James Harding, and Aidan Gillen, who plays Dr. J. Allen Hynek, both appeared on the morning show. Do you guys believe, McDonough asked the applauding audience, Then, yes, I believe. So the audience applauded and they said, then, yes, I believe. Safe answer. Safe answer. It's interesting being a devout Catholic who knows what else is out there. For us to think that it's just us, I'm not so sure. He said, but I certainly don't look at the night sky the same way anymore. I go outside with my 5 kids, not live kids, 5 kids.
Yeah, we're just gonna dig that one up in the backyard. We'll be right back.
Just don't drag around the other ones.
Here's the 5 live kids and the one that's not. Which one of these things not like the other?
There you have it. I go outside with my 5 kids.
Yes.
And my wife, whatever name that is, Ruby. And we look at the sky now, and I'm like, I wonder if. Gillen expressed a similar sentiment, saying that the idea of us not being the only life forms in the universe is not outrageous. I'd like to think at some point in our future we'd be able to make contact, and probably will, he continued. So yeah, I'm just not sure how it's all going to manifest itself. Interesting. So they have an open mind about it, and they apparently say a lot more stuff about it. But those are 2 actors' opinions, ladies and gentlemen. Do you feel complete now? Any questions? So again, they might be wonderful people. I'm not disparaging them, but I mean, does it really matter what 2 actors think? I don't think it does.
I think it's just for the flock. I think
it is. It's just for fans, and I don't know. People do elevate these pretenders onto these platforms, like, oh, well, I'm going to vote the way, Sting would vote, or whoever you happen to follow.
Vote the way Lemmy would. Have another shot of Jack.
What would Beyonce do?
Oh my God!
It's like, so I mean, it doesn't matter.
No, I can't say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what these people think. I think it's fine whatever opinion they have. However, their opinion is no more valid than yours or I's. I don't know if that was even proper English, but
yours or mine.
Yours or mine. Thank you, Don.
Yes.
Again, words. But that's quite interesting. So that's their take on it, ladies and gentlemen. There was a lot more to the article, but that's all I'm going to share with you, because they're pretenders, they're actors,
unfortunately, when you're in that kind of position, though, I mean, you're going to say whatever and this is me being opinionated, but you're going to say whatever's going to make you money.
Oh, sure.
I mean, because at that point it's like, well,
that's interesting.
Because if you go off script and become like, say, Jim Carrey, yeah, that's just suicide. It's professional suicide.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, Jim Carrey, I guess, has decided that he's got enough money and he can go off script.
Yeah.
Look at back when Mel Gibson did the
which one?
the
Passion of the Christ.
Yes, thank you. And he went off his rocker then. Look at David Hasselhoff. Apparently he was drunk telling his daughter something about get me Big Macs or something. And these people are still these icons, even though they have these, everybody falls and everybody needs a second chance. But I mean, God dang, how many second chances are there?
As far as I understand, that's 2. Right? That's 2. That's kind of what it's called, second chances. But I don't know. It might just be me. No, I understand. I mean, yeah, these guys are not special. They're very good at what they do. But if you think about what they do, they pretend to be people they're not.
Yeah.
They pretend to be heroes. They pretend to be intelligent, well-rounded, articulate people. They pretend to be brave and heroic, but in reality, they're just guys pretending and ladies pretending, and fantastic if you can make a living that way.
Right.
But it doesn't qualify them uniquely to have, these real trend-setting opinions. But we elevate them because they pretend, and some part of our psyche must believe they're really Tom Cruise is a special agent, and or whatever. What was the other one that he played, where he was the I don't know, Jack Reacher.
Oh.
Tom Cruise maybe really is like Jack Reacher and just knows things. Well, no, Tom Cruise is just some guy that memorizes lines and pretends.
Well, I don't know. He might have an alien inside him.
Well, not anymore.
Are you sure? Because he's a Scientologist.
I know, but isn't the whole deal to get rid of the alien inside?
We'll see what happens.
Isn't that what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So Jason Momoa, Bomber says, I believe in
bet you
Jason
do.
Momoa. He's an incredibly handsome guy. I'm sure he's a good person. Everything I've ever heard about the
If
guy.
I was ripped like him, I'd be all over the pages too.
The only thing ripped is my underwear. Sorry. No, that was kind of funny, wasn't it? A little bit? Nothing? Tough crowd tonight. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm working on it. Yeah,
I just have to sometimes just cut the tongue off and just don't say it, Don. Just don't say it.
But yeah, I mean, Jason Momoa sounds like a spectacular person. He really does. And I'm not saying any of these people aren't great people, but I'm just saying that their opinion is no more valid than anyone else's about whether or not this stuff is real. It's just we gotta quit putting them up on a pedestal because they're just people. These are just
Right.
people. People like to put me up on a pedestal. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding.
Let me knock your pedestal over there, pal. Come here.
No, I don't have a pedestal quite yet. I appreciate that maybe someday, but not today.
Cade Moya's in the house.
Cade came in. Good to see you, Cade. Hi, Portal. Portal what? Hang? Hey, Portal Hang? Is that what he said? Hey,
That's what it says.
Yeah. Hey, Portal Hang. Gotcha. That's good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. I've never heard of hang before, so that's an interesting word. It's brand new to me, but it's great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, gang. It was a typo. I'm like, what's a hang? That must be an Australian term.
I was like, well, I don't know.
There's the break, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to break. We'll be right back.
Maybe things will be better on the other side.
Maybe. Don't get your hopes up too much, but we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Half hour number 2 is upon us, and we are back here underway. So, are you not entertained?
Do I not amuse you? Are you not amused?
Don, do the robots.
I just posted something. There's a link in the YouTube. You got to check it out. It's Brent. When they said Brent doing the robot dance in the back, that's what I thought of.
Nice. When am I going to check this out?
You can check it out anytime you want, but it's just Peter Dinklage singing about space pants and doing a robot dance.
Jeez. All right. Well, I'll save that for after the show. I think he's a kind of a cool guy too.
I
Peter
think he's
Dinklage.
funny.
Yeah.
Did you know he's used to sing for a punk band?
Nope. I have no idea anything about the guy
Oh my goodness!
Other than he's
And
got
his-
a
and the
credible
band-
voice and he's a good actor.
The name of the band just went right out of my head. It was like Whizzer or something like that.
Wizard instead of Weezer. Nice.
Whizzer, yeah.
There you go.
I can't remember like that.
Well,
Anyhow,
apparently the world's been good to him. He's done quite well.
he has.
Yep. Game of Thrones kind of put him on the map, didn't it?
Yep, sure did.
Wasn't he also in the second installment of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? He was. He was one of the dwarfs in there. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he was the one that befriended Lucy. And yeah, cool show. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Paranormal Portal. We are in half hour number 2, and hoping to keep you entertained throughout the duration of our show tonight. If all goes well, you're going to leave here feeling damn good about yourself because we've done our job. If it doesn't go well, you'll just leave. Which is always a possibility.
Crow Creek's killing me tonight.
What's he up to now?
He's like, Brent's music hits me so hard, makes me say, "Oh my Lord," like that Hammer song. It's Hammer time.
Hammer time. Oh, well, thank you, Crow. I appreciate that. What do we got? Yeah, that one we did, I think. Bat being. So I think we've done all for the singular Fortean. I've hit all those. Now, I do believe I have an email that I got to read here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was written by a listener who sent in a story about her. I was telling stories about pets and stuff, and I shared that.
Oh.
The story of my mom's pet, Tucker, that keeps circling on her bed and laying down, and he passed away years ago. And so this is coming from a listener, and she says, "Hi, Brent. Greetings from Australia. I discovered your podcast via Cade's Believe show. You and your team are doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work."
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Cade, for spreading the word. We're spreading the love. And we love you as well. Thank you for sharing your story about Jewel. That was my cat. Animals do have souls, and I'm reminded of a story I'd like to share with you. I rescued my cat Bonnie from the streets at a very young age. Her mother had been hit by a car, so I hand-reared her, bottle-feeding her every 4 hours. She was so tiny, she could fit in the palm of my hand. We had a couple of years together, but as I reached my early 20s, the world was calling, and it's a bit of a tradition for young Australians to travel the world, so off I went to backpack around Europe for 6 months, leaving Bonnie with my parents. On my return, my mom had grown so attached to her that I couldn't bear to separate them, and Bonnie would also have a better quality of life with a huge garden to roam, so I moved out, visiting home often, and would always reunite with the cute head bump and cuddle. Bonnie, not my mom. You don't head bump your mom? Like, poof.
Hey, how are you? Sorry, was that your nose?
As the years went by, she developed kidney disease, and the decision was made to give her angel wings at age 16. It is. That's a long life for a cat. However, my parents made the decision so suddenly, I didn't have the chance to say goodbye, and they called me at work to give me the news. To say I was devastated was an understatement. I was numb with grief and could not stop crying. You know how you cry at the point of exhaustion? On the third day, I was sitting quietly in my lounge room, and suddenly, I felt a warm, loving presence on my shoulder, and then it nuzzled into my neck. And I knew it was her. I was suddenly enveloped with such an intense feeling of all-encompassing love. It's hard to describe, but there was no judgment, just love. This feeling was warm and comforting, and I knew she was coming to say goodbye and to thank me for saving her. It only lasted for a few minutes, but once I acknowledged her and said thank you for coming to say goodbye and that I would always love her, she left, and I knew she was at peace. I thought it would be easy to write this, but I have been crying the entire time. I've only shared this story with my husband as he was at home, but in an adjoining room when it happened. I'm not deeply religious, but am quite spiritual and believe that this is what awaits us on the other side. I believe paranormal experiences are more likely to happen when you have your guard down or are tired. But I am not a psychic, but I had a few experiences, usually when I'm really tired. This was a few years ago, but I'm happy to say I've recently rescued a new fur baby, and she's a tuxie and also my shadow. And she included a picture of the cat here, and I can put that on screen. And this is Clementine. For those of you on YouTube, you can see this, and what a beautiful cat. This cat actually reminds me of Jewel a lot. It looks very, very similar to my Jewel, the first cat I had. And just a magical pet. Wonderful. So thank you so much for sending that story in, and thank you for sharing it with us. These pets, they just become such a part of us.
Right.
They are just a part of our soul and our heart, and it's just hard to see them go. It just takes a piece of us with them. But I don't know. There's an old saying that I like, and that saying is, "The star that shines twice as bright burns half as long."
Mm-hmm.
That was from Blade Runner, the first Blade Runner. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. They're amazing creatures. These pets, they just are just such a part of us. So I appreciate the email. Thank you so much.
Great. That was an awesome story.
It really was. Yeah, it's a beautiful story too, because I really think that those paranormal experiences, Don, they really heal. They really speed the healing process.
Sure. Yeah.
It doesn't make it easy necessarily, but at least you know that they're there.
Right.
Because I think every person, no matter who you are, we always wrestle with that. What if there's nothing more?
Right.
What if that death is just it? But then things like that happen. It's like, oh hell no, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. So, and I think that that's beautiful. So thank you again. I appreciate it, and keep the emails coming, ladies and gentlemen. We love those stories here on the show, and to share them with our listeners is a true and distinct honor. And I really believe that that's awesome. Thank you, Aussie Tiger. Appreciate that. Aussie's in the TFR chat says, awesome stories as always. And he's apparently on YouTube as well. So he's all over the place. Aussie's kind of taken over.
He's doing the. Ken does that to us too. They'll be in both of them, and it's like, wait a minute.
What's going on here?
What's happening?
What's going on? So very cool. But there's more. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
There's always more, Don. This is the Paranormal Portal. It's what we do.
The paranormal is never ending.
I've actually, we're gonna do a podcast about this one. I'm just showing you.
Which one?
Because I've had a request for this.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, so.
And I can just sit back and go, whatever.
do your Ed McMahon. Yes.
Yes.
And then you got to go every once in a while. And then that'll be fine. So let's see. I read that one.
So that was a hint that if you don't listen to the podcast, the only way you're going to hear that one is by listening to the podcast.
Yeah, there's, ladies and gentlemen, we do a podcast, and it's not the same. A lot of people are confused about podcasts.
Baker.
Kev, come in?
Yep.
Oh, Kev. The Kev Baker, ladies and gentlemen, another great friend of our show and us personally. Kev was on the show just recently.
It was a great show.
It was a great, great show, and it was a lot of fun. It just flew by. And we're gonna do more with Kev in the near future. In fact,
oh gosh, that's
on
right.
March 13th, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a crossover event that's going to rock the socks of all you paranormal enthusiasts. And the crossover is between Freaky Friday and the Paranormal Portal. Now, Freaky Friday, if you're not familiar with it, is a show that is spearheaded by Kev Baker. And it's a 3-hour show that discusses all the weird and woo and wonderful and some paranormal and just amazing show. And there's three people on that show generally. It's Kev, Scotty Lopez, and Joe Joseph, and they do a hell of a job. But we're going to do a crossover event with them. They have a 3-hour show, and we follow them on Friday nights. And we do our 2-hour show. So it's going to be 5 hours of the Paranormal Portal with Freaky Friday. And it's going to be an event for the ages. So that'll be on March 13th. So if you want to catch some amazing conversation, some fantastic laughs, and just an all-around good time, then you should probably mark your calendar to be there.
Yep.
It's going to be a great time. And definitely check out Kev's channel if you get a chance. It's the Kev Baker Show on YouTube. And you can catch both Kev Baker shows and Freaky Friday over there on the channel. And they do other weekend shows as well. So Kev is like one of the busiest guys I know of. And I know that I'm busy. And Kev is equally as busy, if not more so. He's streaming multiple times a day. So
Yes, he is.
he's a machine. And definitely great episodes. So something to look forward to. If you're not familiar with Kev, check it out. I mean, there's so many wonderful people. Cade, the Believe podcast, Duke, the World Bigfoot Radio, Wes, of course, Sasquatch Chronicles, Tony with Confessionals.
Tony Lurkel.
Yep. I mean, we've got just an amazing group of people that are, in one way or another, a part of our community.
Yes.
And that's just really amazing. We've got just
And
an
it keeps
incredible.
growing, and that's awesome.
It really is. I mean, it's growing, and it's really cool that, we can all support each other because we're doing great things. And Kev, you should touch base with Cade. You guys could have a hell of a show. We're just matchmaking, Don.
Yeah, yeah. Now. Now. Oh, you little Cupid over there. You're so
That's right.
cute.
I'm gonna go get my diaper.
Oh, no. This is because you ripped your undies?
I told you they're ripped. I need a diaper. All right, so we're gonna get into some.
Oh, my God.
All right, here's some weirdness for you guys. Now, this is something that's come up a lot, and we've done shows on this before. But children have imaginary friends a lot of time, and there are many people, myself included, that at least part of the time, they're not so imaginary. These are actually, I believe, in many cases, these are actually presences. They're actually spiritual beings. And of course, we know that, or we believe we know, that children see so much more than we do in terms of the paranormal. They can see these spiritual beings running around, and they can witness things that we can't for some reason. And I'm not sure what it is about their eyes or their perception. Maybe it's because they're so new to the world. They're not all jaded like the rest of us and closed off. But whatever it is, these kids can experience some incredible things. So we're going to cover an article here. It's from the Occult Museum, and it's 15 terrified parents describe their child's disturbing imaginary friends.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, here's the thing. I mean, look at that picture, Don. That's one for you.
Oh, my good God, no.
It's looks
Can we
like
come
black-eyed
in?
kids. Yeah, can we come in?
Can we
No.
use your phone?
But to know your kid is talking to somebody is one thing, and most of the time you just dismiss that as a creative imagination. Maybe an only child needing some form of connection, so they create this psychological representation of another child that they can play with, or another person that plays with them, and it seems to make sense for the most part. But there's so many reports of these parents listening into their kids having these full-blown conversations,
Right.
and answering to questions they're not hearing, and then laughing suddenly like they just heard the funniest joke in the world. And it's not just the pretend stuff at that point. It just becomes something more. And then the kids describe these people that are like physically damaged. Like these kids are seeing people that are burnt to a crisp. And they're seeing people that are,
Yeah.
busted up. And
Yeah.
there's one that we read a long time ago. The kid called it the Black Lady because she was burned to a crisp.
Oh.
And he kept asking her to come stay the night, but she couldn't. She had to go back.
Was I here for that one?
I think so. But
I must have tuned it out. Wow.
yeah, but I mean, that's not the figments of a kid's imagination anymore. So these are mostly pretty quick little stories, but let's read through these. Let me keep an eye. Let me check the time, because I do get to run in my lips and I forget that there's a clock ticking behind us.
I'll see
So
if you can move that down a little bit. I can see if I can help keep an eye on that.
I'd have to move it to a different place.
Okay, fine. Don't
Well, I could do maybe this. There we go. And then I could do this, and then now I'm all screwed up. What? What are you pointing at?
Cowboy.
Yeah, but where are we? Why aren't we on
Yeah,
there?
that's what's whacking me out there. I don't know what's going on there.
That's weird. Let me check the Skype. Why aren't we connected to our own call board? This is very strange. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make sure we're connected. It looks like we're connected.
It says it, yeah.
This. Let's add. There we are. We got a call. So before we do that, I'm going to get to this call. Somebody's been waiting on hold here.
Oh.
So this is area code 845. You're on the air.
Hi. There was an incident that had happened to me back in 2016.
Uh-huh.
I feel kind of weird talking about it because it has to do with a paranormal incident, but
Okay.
I mean, I really never believed in stuff like this.
Oh.
And it was kind of hard to talk about it because it's just so weird.
Sure. Well, go ahead.
But
We're all ears.
what had happened was one night I'm on YouTube and I was just looking at some, just random videos.
Okay.
I came across this one video, and I really don't want to say what video it was, but it had to do with a ritual and a demonic entity. Okay,
Ooh,
and I know this sounds really weird,
Sure.
but I've never believed in stuff like this, and actually when I watched it, I thought it was kind of funny. And so as I was watching it, I fell asleep for just a few minutes because when I woke up, it had just ended.
Oh.
And so I had watched it. I came across it again another day because I had missed it, because I had fallen asleep. So I watched it again. And the same scene in it came up again, and it kind of like made me nervous. I was just thinking, maybe I shouldn't watch this.
Right.
And what it ended up happening was, I think it was probably about a week later,
Mm-hmm.
I went and picked up my daughter from school, and this is about 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
And I picked her up, and we were on our way home, and all of a sudden I saw, and I swear to God I saw this, it was like a shadow person
Oh. Okay.
run. I saw him coming running from my right side,
Uh-huh.
ran straight across in front of me as I'm driving down the road. It was like just before I got to my house, and he ran across the road, and I was like a little freaked out because I've never ever seen anything like that before in my life, and I'm like, did I just see what I saw?
Oh my
You know
God.
how you question yourself?
Sure.
Definitely.
And so, I started talking to my daughter again, and we pull in the driveway, we get out, we start walking around to the front of the house to walk into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got on the porch, I started feeling like electricity is the only way I can really describe it. It was like there was like electricity in the air.
Oh.
And the hair on the back of my neck started raising up, and I've never experienced this before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this like feeling of dread and doom. And so I just hurry up and got my girls in the house. And then, it was time to make dinner and stuff, so I had forgotten about it. And then that night, when I was reading them a story to put them to bed, all of a sudden I hear 3 footsteps, 3 like hard footsteps on the roof of my house.
Oh, jeez.
And I wasn't the only one that heard it. My girls heard it too. And they were like, "What's that, Mommy?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it was I think it was like the next 3 days. The next night, I had gone to bed, and it was pretty dark in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and I was laying there. I'm trying to go to sleep, and all of a sudden, I started getting this feeling like it was like a sick feeling in my stomach, like real sick, knotty, tight feeling, and it just started getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then I felt as if somebody was in my room.
Oh.
And a lot of times I tend to sleep with my feet, just my feet outside the covers.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt something grab my toe, my big toe, like real lightly on each side, and run their fingers up.
Oh, no.
Like trying to get my attention.
Uh-huh.
And something inside me kept telling me not to look, like really strong. Like I would say it felt like it was like my guardian angel.
Okay.
Just kept saying, "Don't look, don't look, don't look,"
Sure.
And then the next night, it was in probably 6, 7 o'clock at night. I was about to feed my cat, and I usually like say, meow meow to my cat, and I started getting that sick, knotty feeling in my stomach again, and then I started feeling like there was a presence in my basement, but I didn't want to look.
Right.
And all of a sudden I heard a man's voice, real deep, say, "Meow." I know that sounds funny, but I guess I'm assuming they said it because I was saying it to my cat.
Right. Just mocking you.
And but and then after that was it. And what's even more strange is I had watched that video again, and it was different this time. What I saw in the video last time was not in the video. And I finally was able to get in touch with the guy who made the video. And I asked him, I told him about what I saw in the video. And I asked him, I said, did you take the video down and erase that part of the video and then repost it again? And he said, "No, I didn't." He said, because he's like, "Actually, I don't have time because I'm making so many videos all the time." And he actually was, I could tell when I had told him what I had seen in the video, I left him quite speechless. He didn't know what to say because he said he did originally, when he first made the video, he had that in the video, but before he posted it, he said it didn't feel right about posting it with that scene in it.
Okay.
Wow.
So he had deleted it.
Oh my God.
So
Huh.
So I don't know how I could have seen that in the video, and he confirmed it that he did do that, but he never posted that.
Wow.
So I'm just curious, like how could I have seen that if he never posted it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's incredibly intense.
I don't know if that was like some kind of psychic thing or something, or but it was for Azazel.
Oh, okay.
That demon called Azazel.
Azazel, yeah.
And
yeah.
I know it was him that came to see me. And I'm just curious I still, to this day, I mean, not that I ever really want to see him, but
Right.
I'm just curious of why why he did come here to see me, because nothing like that has ever happened to me before, and nothing like that has ever happened again.
Can you Can you hold on for a couple minutes, because we are about to go to break?
Yeah.
Sure.
But I want to continue this conversation because I got a bunch of questions for you, and I want to understand this a little better. But this is absolutely phenomenal. So please hold the line. I'm going to put you on hold, and we'll come right back to you after the break, okay?
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to our break. Stay tuned, and we'll get into this more on the other side, so don't go away.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, ripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid toy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken
I can't see you, Mommy. Where are you? I've never sensed anything like it. Caroline is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that's different from themselves. Her life force is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. We are in hour number 2. Second hour is now upon us, and we are just in the middle of a phone call.
Yes.
A very incredible phone call. My God, I can't believe this. But let's get back to the caller, and this is area code 845. Are you there?
Yes.
Hi. By the way, what was your
Hi.
first name? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask. Or did you not want to say?
Laura.
What was it?
Laura.
Laura. Okay. Thanks for calling in, Laura.
Wow.
And thanks for holding over the break. Now, your experience is incredible. This is the kind of stuff you really don't hear. I mean, of all the paranormal stories that I've heard doing the show, this is by far one of the more creepy, I got to tell you. The fact that you observed on YouTube a video that by all rights shouldn't exist in the form that you saw it. And in fact, the creator of the video did not release it in that form. He didn't upload it that way. And being a YouTube creator, I mean, there's definitely a distinct process. There's no way a raw video could be up on the servers on YouTube. You have to very directly upload it. It's not something that would have happened by accident if what the creator is saying is true. And I suppose, because if you did pull it down and then put it back up, you would see the dates changed on when the video was there and not. But if he's indeed telling the truth, that is a very dark will involved there, and a very profound but disturbing phenomena that you witnessed, in that you saw a video that by all rights shouldn't have existed like that. And then to be exposed to it and having it create a phenomena in your life on top of that is incredibly disturbing.
Well, that's what that's what really freaked me out, because, I mean, as in my, my world and my upbringing, things like that just don't exist. It's just that my parents always like, go, that's, poo-poo, you know what I mean? That's, that's fantasy land,
Right.
And so, for it to have happened, for quite a while, I felt like I was crazy. I literally felt like I was crazy. I'm like, maybe I'm going crazy and I just don't know it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
because, I kept, because this was back in the spring of 2016. And, I still, from time to time, I think about it, and I keep asking myself, did this really happen?
Yeah.
But the things that happen, I wasn't the only one that heard it. So it had to have happened.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a few more things that had happened. One night, in my room, I have video cameras, on the outside.
Okay.
And on top of the my armoire, I have the recorder for it, okay? And it only has two lights on it, a red light and a amber light. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so one night, I happened to notice these two green lights, and I thought it was kind of odd, because when you're used to the lights in your bedroom, right?
Sure.
Anything that has lights on it, you know what the lights are, you know what they look like, and if you see something different, you pick up on it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw these two green lights, and I thought it was kind of weird because I'm like, I don't remember seeing those lights before.
Right.
So I walk up on it, in my room, and it was dark. The only thing really, I'm sorry, I don't think I had my computer on. I think it was real dark because I was about to go to bed.
Uh-huh.
And that's why these two green lights really stood out to me. And I walked up close to the armoire, staring at the lights, trying to figure out what those lights were, like where it was coming from.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, it like blinked, like like eyes,
Yeah.
where like the eyelids come down and then back up again,
Like a Cheshire cat.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
And it my heart just like fell, like I just got this deep scared feeling.
Yes, of course.
And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go to bed now. So I just turned around and walked away. I was trying to ignore it.
Right.
Anything that happened, I just kept trying to ignore. I figured if I ignore it, it'll go away.
And did it?
But
has it?
Well, for a while, the door on my armoire, the doors don't close properly because it's an older armoire.
Okay.
And when you open it, it creaks.
Uh-huh.
And for I'd say maybe 6 months to a year after that, the armoire door at night would like keep opening and closing.
Wow.
Just a little bit, just enough to make it creak, open and creak closed. And it would keep doing that. And I just kept ignoring it. And also on my porch, which is below my bedroom, my front porch, I kept hearing a banging, like somebody was taking like a desk and picking it up and flipping it over like end to end. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone started on one end of the porch with a desk, they picked it up, flipped it over, then picked up that side and then flipped it over, and continuously, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then eventually my husband had said, had asked me, like, what's that banging at night, on the front porch? Like he would go down and look to see if anybody was on the porch because he kept hearing the banging, and I'm just like, I have no idea because I didn't.
Yeah.
But that took probably about a year and a half to subside. And the only other thing that did happen was my younger daughter said she saw a little small, I guess like a type of creature, like a shadow, kept staring at her at night, and like hanging on the wall or something, because she was probably about 8 years old at that time.
Okay.
And she would keep telling me she was getting scared because she said it keeps looking at her. That's what she kept telling me, that it keeps looking at her. And so I kept trying to, reassure her and calm her, you know what I mean? What, of course, what you would always do. And, I did believe her, but I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, eventually, yes, it has calmed down and gone away. But, those 3 visits though, it just always makes me curious, like, why like, I've thought about it, and I mean, like, if it happened to you, I'm sure you would really, like, think about it, contemplate it over and over again. It just replays in your head from time to time, like, why did it happen?
Right.
Is what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, like, if he, if let's just say that Azazel made this happen, okay,
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, he, had that video, that, ritual play out, for, so he could, because they say that you have to do a ritual for the demon to come and see you. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I think he
summoning.
used this person as a, as like a tool to come and see me, but
Yes.
I've always been curious as to why.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, what is it that he wanted to, like, I felt like he wanted to talk to me.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like, the 3 times that he came here.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to, because I was afraid to.
Well,
But I'm
sure.
just curious, like, ever since then, the reason why I contacted that guy, because I thought if he had changed the video, honestly, to be really honest, I wanted him to put that video back in its original form, because I wanted to play it again. I was hoping that he would come back so I could ask him what exactly it was that he wanted. You know what I mean? I know it sounds weird.
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird, but with me, my curiosity usually gets the best of me.
Right.
Which I know it isn't always good, but
No, I would probably stay away from that. I mean, personally, because when you're dealing with a principality like that, that's not the same thing as just your average ghost by a long shot. And generally, I mean, we just don't know anything about these other than a few written words here and there in different historic lores that exist. But I mean, if you're not, you've got to be very, very, very thoroughly prepared for that kind of a thing. And I'm talking about spiritually. I'm talking about mentally.
Right. Well, I mean, there's more to it. I don't know if you want me to,
please.
to really
I want
get
to
in depth with it and tell you.
Absolutely.
Well, okay. I would say probably 6 months to a year before this happened. Hold on to that thought.
Okay.
Backing up even further than that, there's been issues, just personal issues that haven't gone right in my life. Okay.
Sure.
So coming up into 6 months to a year before this happened, for some reason, and I've never been this kind of person, I've always been the kind of person that people know me by my smile. Like, when I worked years ago, when I worked in a grocery store, when I was going to college, I would have people stand on my line that only had just a few things holding in their arms, and they'd have a full carriage of groceries in front of them, and they were like, I'd say, well, why didn't you just go to the express lane,
Sure.
And they were like, because I wanted you to cash me out, because you always smile and you always pack my groceries good, So
okay.
I've always been known for being happy, happy-go-lucky kind of person, okay?
Sure.
And then 6 months to a year before this happened, I suddenly started becoming very, like, dark, like very angry all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I made this a total opposite transition from the kind of person that I've always been. And I started actually, I don't know why. I really can't explain it. I still can't to this day. I had started developing this attraction to the occult, especially after he came here.
Yeah.
I started buying occult books and circles and things like this. And before this, I never would have ever even thought about doing anything like this. But it was like, when I think back to how this progressed to when he came here, it was like I was being primed for him to come here with me getting darker and darker and more angry, and like angry to the worst. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
And then that's when this happened. Then that's when this ritual came about, and that I saw, and that's when he visited me. Okay. And then after that, like, because I rejected it and I said no, and then after that next year, I started, my anger and all this darkness in me started going away. It started dissipating.
Right.
And it took a couple of years, but, and actually right now I'm almost back to where I was, way before this happened. But I just think about that, how much I changed before this happened.
Sure.
And it was as if I was being primed for this.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because
I do.
I mean, if you think about it, you couldn't have somebody like him coming to you if you weren't full of hate and anger, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it would seem that would make sense. Now, I would say that the dark period, I think that you've been dealing with this perhaps for a long time, and you were dealing with a real long period of demonic oppression, but perhaps. And oppression, of course, is when you get that dark and you get drawn into these dark things, because there is a consciousness very directly preying upon you, whether it's demonic or whatever. I don't pretend to know, but it sounds like you've been dealing with this a lot longer. And I think the oppression started first, and then perhaps it needed a summoning ritual, which is what you watched on on YouTube, which then was able to bring that through and manifest it as a evocation.
That's what I'm.
No,
exactly.
There's invocation and evocations, and evocation evokes it into the world, and invocation brings it into yourself. And so it sounds like you may have been already dealing with this Azazel or something to that effect, or perhaps some form of imp or something related to that. I'm just spitballing this, I mean, I'm just heard this now for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
But
hey, I'm not an expert either.
Right.
Believe me.
But
I've never, like I said, through my whole life, I've never dealt with anything like this. I've always just lived a normal life, just working and, doing whatever, you know what I mean? Just normal everyday thing,
Right. Right. But I mean, the demonic,
I was never.
Demonic oppression and possession is a period, a lot of times, of years, and these things have nothing but time. They aren't worried about a calendar or a clock or whatever. So if it takes years of you going down this dark path and being seduced by this dark energy, and then to finally go watch the video eventually that you stumbled on just by accident, and then you viewed a video which didn't exist in the form that you saw it. It sounds like this is all, a pretty articulate plot, really. As I'm listening to it,
it's wild. I mean, even the guy who made the video, when I told him about what I had saw, he was he didn't even say anything. He was just like, I could tell he was in shock that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I knew what he did.
Right.
You know what I mean, without seeing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he said he never posted it.
Right.
You know, and that freaked me out too.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah, that's very very wild. Now I would be careful too, because you may think that it's gone or that it's breaking away, but it may not be.
It may just be waiting again.
Yeah, it could
well,
be.
that's exactly what I feel, and that I've been wanting to call you for a while now and tell you, but I've been worried about it because I didn't want to talk about it,
Sure.
because I didn't want to bring it back in my life again, because I know for a fact that if you talk about it, it will bring it back into your life, because at the time after it had happened,
Mm-hmm.
if I started really thinking about him, you know, like it was like a couple weeks later when, you know, it would go over my mind like, oh my God, did it really happen?
Right.
And when I would sit there and contemplate and think about it, all of a sudden I'd start getting that twisted, knotty, sick feeling in my stomach again.
Sure. Yeah.
That same feeling that I had gotten when he was here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so
And
that you know,
sounds
really
sounds like there's a
convinced
connection.
me.
Yeah, it does sound like there's still a connection, or could still be. And I would be extraordinarily careful with that. If you need some help dealing with that, I would be happy to recommend some people that I know that deal with stuff like this, and they could potentially.
Yeah, I think it's dormant.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just dormant right now because I haven't because I don't dabble in anything, any occult stuff,
Sure.
you know. So
Right.
I think it's just laying dormant,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for another opportunity again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. So if you're interested in exploring this and potentially getting it, and of course I can't make any guarantees that anybody can help you, short of, you know, some
Right.
very serious religious, you know, exercise. But I would say that, you know, we have some very talented people that have helped a lot of people, and I would be happy to put you in touch with them at no cost, mind you. So, you know, if that's an avenue that you'd like to explore, I'd be thrilled to help you any way I could.
Well, off air, I would
Yes.
like
Yeah,
to give
of
you
course.
my
An
email
email.
address
Yeah.
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
we could
Please. If you could,
exchange.
yeah, if you could just email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com,
Yes.
I will be in touch with you, and
Okay.
we'll get this sorted. Yeah, not on the air. I don't want you to give out any of your personal information here, but
Right.
But yeah, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and we'll definitely discuss this further. But it's an incredibly amazing story, but it's also incredibly nerve-wracking, and I'm more than concerned about this. So if we can help you get through this, that would be fantastic.
Okay. It is nerve-wracking. Believe me, I've been.
Yeah,
You know, it's been on my mind for 4 years now.
yeah,
You know, just wondering, you know, if it's really going or if it's just dormant. But
Yeah.
I personally feel it's just dormant for now. But
Okay. Yeah. Well,
you know, so yeah, I would like to
okay.
see if I could get something done about that.
Yeah, I promise you, I'll do everything I can. So, yeah, just reach out to me via email, and we'll talk more, and we'll keep pushing through this. And if you know, there's several different resources. So if one of them isn't able to help, we'll find one that does. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome, and thank you so much for calling in. I'm so glad that you finally did. I know you've been thinking about it, but I'm really thrilled that you finally reached out, and we'll get this taken care of. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night, and I'll look
Have
for
a good night.
I'll look for your email.
Thanks. All right.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Good night.
Wow.
How's that, huh?
That's creepy.
That's a lot of intense, ladies and gentlemen. That's, you know, I mean, with dark things, like truly dark things, the interesting thing is that there are legends of Azazel having yellow eyes, and she saw green, but that's not too far.
She also said amber. That's not too far between red and yellow either.
Yeah. So,
but she was talking about the blinking lights.
Yeah,
they were those colors, and then they turned green.
Right. So it's definitely very curious, and we will definitely be there for her. But these dark things, they got nothing but time.
Yes.
They got nothing but time. They could spend generations going
Speaking
after a
of time.
family. Speaking of time, how we doing? Let's see. We're down to the last half-hour break. So we're going to go to our last half-hour break, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to stick around after the show. Paisley Wild will be coming up with the spaces between. And after that, of course, the Duke of World Bigfoot Radio on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. So don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back for the last half hour of the show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. Thanks for being here, guys. Last half hour is now upon us.
Oh.
What an incredible journey, huh, Don?
Hey, who? Huh?
I was trying to say Don with an accent, but it sounded like a J, so I changed course.
It sounds like
John.
din.
Oh, don't do that. Don't give anybody else ideas. We don't need a din. We already got a cha-cha.
Oh, no. Yeah, last half hour. Wow.
That call was amazing.
Yes.
It's spooky as hell, though. I mean, just something really sideways about that. I feel for her. So hopefully, she reaches out via email and we can get to work on that.
What's that email again?
paranormalportalradio@gmail.com.
Yeah. Hey, what's that podcast? Is there a podcast?
Ours?
Yeah.
Yes,
We
there
have a
is, Don.
podcast?
We do, and it's called the Paranormal Portal Podcast, or just Paranormal Portal. If you go to iHeart, iTunes, Pandora, or Spotify, or about a gajillion other ones, you just look for Paranormal Portal, and our podcast should pop up. Now, there's confusion. Some people think that YouTube is podcast. It's not. YouTube is video streaming, and it's video on demand. That is not a podcast. A podcast is an audio-only format that's pre-recorded, and you can go on to Spotify. You can go on to iTunes, iHeartRadio, or other platforms and search through thousands of podcasts and find something that you like. And hopefully you like the Paranormal Portal, so you'll search for that, you'll find it, and you'll see our playlist. Now, I would like to say that 90% of our podcast playlist is absolutely brand new, never heard before episodes, except on the podcast. So what you're checking out over there is a whole nother series of, what are we at, 119 now? 119 episodes?
I know.
Or 120 now?
Like 9 months.
Yeah. We've done 120 podcast episodes as it stands, ladies and gentlemen.
Nutso.
And we've got over 600 YouTube videos. So we have a lot of material out there for your consumption, and as well as a bunch of shows on TFR. Consume the portal before the portal consumes you. Just saying, it could happen. You never know. It's like a big whirlwind of entertainment, all at your disposal, ladies and gentlemen.
A vast swirling portal
And
of
if you
entertainment for your enjoyment.
If you want to help support the show, head over to teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal, and you can find some gear. Right. If you can purchase, there's a coupon, Don, isn't there?
There is. Was it Rockers 20? All capital letters. ROCKERS 20 for 15% off your next Paranormal Portal purchase.
Paranormal Portal purchase. That's fun to say three times fast.
It was hard.
Paranormal Portal purchase.
Carrie, what's your new YouTube show?
Yeah, what is your new show, Carrie? You and Mark. Yeah, we'd like to let people know about that as well. So let us know in the chat, and we'll let people know to check out your channel too. Because we got to spread the love and support each other. That's what we do here.
That's what we do. We're a bunch of lovers. Bring it in for a hug.
Group hug, everybody.
Group hug.
Also, just so you know, after the show tonight, if you're listening on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, you can check out Paisley Wild coming up next with The Spaces Between. That's her show. It deals with her journey through the pagan lifestyle. It's really great stuff.
It's not a YouTube channel. It's a Patreon.
Oh, it's a Patreon.
Yeah,
okay.
Mark and Carrie A to Z.
Mark and Carrie A to Z. It's on Patreon. Okay.
All right.
So you can check that out. Go over to Patreon. Sign up. You'll be getting some great episodes. So check it out. Check out the Kev Baker Show. Check out the Believe podcast as well. That's Cade down under.
Down under.
Does a beautiful job. Check out, of course, Sasquatch Chronicles and the Confessionals. Check out the Paranormal Portal. Check out After Paisley Wild. Not only does the man have an extensive, huge collection on YouTube of his videos and interviews that he's done, but our very own Duke Sullivan of World Bigfoot Radio also has a show here on TFR. And you can head over. It'll be at, 10 p.m. Pacific time?
Yes, that's correct.
That's when the World Bigfoot Radio takes the stage,
Paisley.
right after Paisley. And if you go to tfrlive.com/chat, you can hang out in the chat room with the Duke, and he'll give you all kinds of inside information and background on the stories, stuff that is not included with the audio version. So
yeah, because he chats with you as the show's on, and you can ask him questions. It's actually kind of cool to do it that way. Yeah,
it's brilliant actually. It's a really cool idea. So you go over to tfrlive.com/chat, give yourself a username and password, and you'll be in the chat room there, and you can hang out with the Duke during World Bigfoot Radio, which is 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on tfrlive.com. So check it out. And Duke's channel, of course, World Bigfoot Radio on YouTube, is another great site to check out. So we are all about supporting our friends and people that have been there for us. And it's just a love fest here on the Paranormal Portal.
It is. It's a bunch of lovers.
That we are, Don. That we are. All right, so we got some more amazing stories to get into. And where was I? Oh, yeah, the 15 parents.
Yes, 50. Yeah.
Where the hell is it?
I don't know.
I was looking up all kinds of tabs during that call-in because I wanted to reference some information on the Azazel spirit or demon or whatever you want to call it. The name?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a belief, ladies and gentlemen, that naming a demon will call it to
Draws
you.
the energy.
Yeah, so that's not a good idea. But I remember I had it in a new window completely.
So you bypassed the tabathon on the two windows and opened another tabathon.
Well, you said you were going to watch the time, so. So the first story of a childhood potentially spirit instead of imaginary friend is my daughter used to tell me about a man who came into her room every night to put the sign of the cross on her forehead. Well, I thought it was just a dream. And then my mother-in-law sent over some family photos. My daughter looked right at the picture of my husband's father, who had been dead for 16 years, and said, "That's the man who comes into my room at night." My husband later told me that his father would always do the sign of the cross on his forehead when he was young. Wow. So Grandpa was stopping in. That's awesome. And giving blessings. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, this one's called the Creeper Man. My son, from the age of 3, tells me about the Creeper Man who lives in my mom and dad's bedroom. He brings it up after he visits them. I made the mistake once of asking what he looks like. My son said, "Oh, he doesn't have a face."
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's just Uncle Jerry.
Yeah. So this one's called Kelly. When my daughter was 3, she had an imaginary friend named Kelly who lived in her closet. Kelly sat in a little rocking chair while she slept, playing with her, etc. Typical imaginary friend stuff. And anyway, fast forward 2 years later, and my wife and I are watching the new Amityville, the one with Ryan Reynolds, and our daughter walks out right when the dead girl goes all black-eyed. And far from being disturbed, she said, "Hey, that looks like Kelly." "Kelly who?" we say. "You know, the dead girl that lived in my closet."
Oh, my God.
Weep, 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 weep. That'll wake you up in the morning. This one's called Roger. My little brother's imaginary friend Roger lived under our coffee table, and Roger had a wife and 9 kids. Roger and his family lived peacefully alongside of us for 3 years, and one day my little brother announced that Roger wouldn't be around anymore since he shot and killed him and his whole family. I don't know if he remembers any of this, but his genuine lack of remorse was very disturbing.
Yes, that would
Yikes. That's creepy. This one's called Easter Bunny. Look at that visual, Don.
I know.
Eesh. When I was 16, I babysat twins who were in the 3rd grade at the time. They always spoke of a man in an Easter Bunny costume that they were terrified of him. One day I was babysitting and one twin was in the shower and his brother and I were sitting downstairs watching television when all of a sudden he said, "You need to go check on Matt." Seconds later, Matt yelled, "He's in here! He's in here!" I ran upstairs and I had to check every room before he would calm down. I'm not sure which part of the experience freaked me out the most.
No doubt.
The fact that the twins are just totally connected. Oh, hey, Taz, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. This next one is called The Captain. A parent of one of my students told us in a meeting that she was concerned because her son, 7 years old, talked about an invisible ghost who would talk to him and play with him in his room. She said the ghost was called the Captain and was an old white guy with a beard. The kid would tell his mom that the captain told him when he grows up, his job will be to kill people. And the captain would tell him who needed to be killed. The kid would cry and say he doesn't want to kill when he grows up, but the captain tells him he doesn't have a choice, and he'll get used to killing people after a while.
I categorically deny that.
What? Oh, you and your
Never
phrasing.
happened. Kids tell lies.
You think? Yeah? Okay.
No, they don't.
Uh-oh.
But it was not me. Don't go there.
So this one's called The Boy in the Tree. My folks' farm surrounds a cemetery, and my dad and my niece were walking down there, and my niece, 4, looks up and says, "What's that boy doing up in the tree?" Well, there was no boy, but she insists there was and could describe him. Yeah, kids see stuff. They see stuff.
Hazel, there's nobody on our call board. We don't see Carrie calling in.
I don't got anything. No, I'm refreshing it. It just had a network error, but it reconnected. And I reconnected again, and there's no call board there.
Nope.
So, I mean, there's
720-923-0500. Carrie knows that, though, so I don't wonder what's going on.
I'm not sure. Hopefully he'll try again. We'll keep watching for it, though. So this one's called Bad Rabbit. My cousin, when she was 5 and I was 17, had a stuffed rabbit that she talked to and carried everywhere. One day she was asleep on the couch while I was watching her, and she woke up and started yelling at her rabbit for no reason. One minute she was knocked out, the next she's awake glaring at her rabbit yelling, "No, you can't do that. That's bad. Don't do it." I asked her what was wrong, tried to get her to stop, but she wouldn't listen. I finally just took the rabbit up to her room and then came back down. She was asleep on the couch again. Screw whatever that rabbit was planning on doing.
Is that now that story about the one that got thrown out the window? The little girl's mom threw the rabbit out the window, and like the next door neighbors found it or something. Was that a rabbit?
I don't know. That's a great question. That was a long time ago, right? Or a while ago, or?
Well, we were just talking to Kevin about it the other night when Kevin was on the show.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember.
Huh.
I don't remember now that you mention it. This one is punishment. I was 17 and babysitting a friend of the family's 6-year-old. He'd been in bed a couple of hours, and I just peeked in to check on him, and he wasn't in bed. And when I opened the door wider, I saw he was in the corner, standing facing the wall. Creepiest thing ever. I asked him what he was doing, and all he did was turn around, smile, and put his finger to his lips as if to say, "Shh." I asked him again what he was doing, and all he says is, "Leave us. It is the punishment." Oh. Ooh, that's just disturbing. Yeah. There you go, Don.
Why? How do you find these things?
I don't know.
That's creepy as hell.
It's the red eyes. Red eyes. It looks like a clown to me.
Looks like a clown with red eyes.
And it's a real short story. It's one sentence. It says, when my boy was 4, his imaginary friend would sit in the corner of the room, and when you switched off the lights and light the room with red, when you switched off the lights and light the room with red glowing eyes. I don't get it.
It's hard for me to be dramatic over here sometimes.
Why?
Because you were getting to the point. You were getting to the point where it says when you switch off the lights. So I was trying to be dramatic, but unfortunately,
it was
hard to be. Yeah,
the story was just a real disappointment.
That way.
The story was quite a disappointment. All right, here's another one. It's called The Lady. When my nephew was 3 or 4, there was a lady that sat at the end of his bed most nights. He said she had old clothes and would often keep him awake at night, talking to him. He got really worked up when no one else would see her, and adamant the lady was there and would visit him at night. He spoke about her with such conviction my sister moved house shortly after. Recently, her 1-year-old, my niece, has been seen at roughly the same time, around 3:45 a.m., a few nights stood in the corner of her cot, talking and babbling to an empty corner of the room. Freaky. I think my sister will soon be able to build a new house with the amount of bricks that have recently been
Shat.
shat.
Wow.
That is creepy. Oh, here's another chat name for the masses. This would be for a male if anybody's looking for a new chat name. This one's called Jim Jim.
Jim.
Jim Jim. My mom tells me when I was really young, I had an imaginary friend named Jim Jim that as I used to say, she says, had black eyes, black hair, and looks like paper. She and I assumed that meant that it had really white skin. It creeped her out because Jim Jim was one of the first things she had ever heard me say, and she always found me laughing or crying at a certain corner of my bedroom since I was a few months old. What pushed her over the edge was one night she heard me scream and start crying, and I was 4 when this happened, and she just assumed I had a nightmare, and when she asked what was wrong, I pointed to the corner of the room and said, Jim's mad and says he wants me to hurt you. Then I started crying and apologizing to the corner of the room about telling her that. There was no mention of Jim Jim in the house after that. Old Jim Jim. All right. This one's called Emily. When my sister was probably about 6 or 7 years old, she had an imaginary friend named Emily. She told us Emily lived in her closet, wore an old black dress, and we got a call.
That's him.
That's the call?
That's the
Let's answer the call. I'm going to wait on Emily. We'll read that if we have time. And 601, you're on the air. Are you there?
Hello, caller. You're on the air. I thought maybe if it sounded a little.
Oh, was I muted?
Oh, there you are. Hey, who is this?
You're no
I
longer
already
muted.
know.
We know that voice.
Yeah, I didn't mean to bust into the middle of a story there, man.
No,
Oh,
you're
it's
good.
fine. It's fine. We'd rather take calls anyway. How's everything, brother?
Oh man, just working. I've been missing everything.
Oh,
I'm usually in bed by 8:30, so I actually got to stay up late. I even announced it on the show tonight. I said, "Yeah, Paranormal Portal, I'll be there," and I actually had to finish some work, so I got there late.
oh,
But hey, I made it.
yeah, we're glad to see you again. It's been a while, but everything going good as far as the new show is concerned?
Yeah, we just started. We actually just got the first 2 up. You know, and I messed up.
Uh-oh.
When I was creating the page, you have an option to be public or patrons only.
Oh, that's
And I thought public meant that it was just go out to everybody. You know, anybody could just watch it. And apparently, if you type in Mark and Carrie A to Z, you won't find it. Patreon's fixing it, but they haven't fixed it yet. So if you have to go to the link.
Oh.
Is the only way to join. And what we're doing, Bigfoot Odyssey and Crypto Reality are actually coming together. We're going to do a travel series after the expedition, kind of like the Law and Order thing. You know, Bigfoot Odyssey does the interview and tells the story. Crypto Reality does the investigation. And we're going to meld them all together into one show.
Wow.
And so we created a little Patreon where we review videos, a lot of fringe topics, you know, of course, Bigfoot, Dog Man. We did Chupacabra, Bigfoot. We'll have one that's Bigfoot thermals. We got Dog Man and werewolves coming up. You know, we'll show videos and talk about them. It's pretty cool. Just us being us, you know, me and Mark Zasky. But yeah, we appreciate everybody helping. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use that to make the to do the travel show.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, well, we were going to make it $1 an episode, but we're going to put out like 6 to 8 episodes a month, and that was going to cost people $8 a month. So we just made a flat $2.99. You know, people that want to join, it's not for kids. Just saying, It's you know, language and some graphic videos we're looking at on there. So, but yeah, we appreciate you guys plugging that for us, and I just figured I'd let everybody know if they tried to look it up, you're not going to find it. You're going to have to go to the link, which is going to be in the description of our last 2 Bigfoot Odyssey shows. Okay. Yeah, our researcher report.
Yeah, that's right. And
I just wanted to put that out there, and I appreciate.
And Daniela's got a new show too now. It's Hidden Existence. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And,
Hidden Existence. Yeah, she's got a guest coming up. Oh my God.
yeah.
This you guys can't miss this. You're gonna have to listen to this lady. Yeah, she talks to. She does. I can't even explain what this woman does. But it's gonna be extremely interesting. This guest she found.
Oh.
She knew I wouldn't have him on Bigfoot on Researcher's Report.
Sure.
But this lady, she talks to. Oh my gosh. I want to say she does like not just remote viewing, but she channels. That's what she does.
Oh.
She channels dead people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Right.
I'll definitely have to check that one
Absolutely.
out too, for sure.
But hey, I appreciate you guys saying something. I just wanted to call and kind of let everybody know if you can't find it, it's because I screwed up. So, but Patreon's fixing it, and I appreciate you guys so much for putting it out there. You guys are awesome.
Oh, no worries, brother. We're here to help, and I hope it goes well, and we'll be tuning in when we can for sure.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate it. Let you guys get back to it. I'm gonna be listening while I finish my work. So I'm ready. I want to hear this story.
Okay.
Emily, right?
Emily, we're gonna get into Emily now. Thanks for calling, brother.
Talk to you later, Kerry.
All right.
See ya.
I'm listening. All right. Bye, guys.
Very cool.
Hurry, we only got like 3 minutes left.
Okay, when my sister was probably about 6 or 7, she had an imaginary friend named Emily, and she told us Emily lived in her closet, wore an old black dress, had long hair, and was the same age as my sister. My sister played with Emily constantly. My parents started noticing my sister acting weird, just sitting in the middle of her room whispering to Emily quite a bit, and acting a lot more distant towards them. And I remember a very specific day, my brother was walking by her room, and my sister was sitting in the middle of her room, but she turned around and hissed at him. He was scared, and he told me he didn't even look like my sister. My parents ran up to her room, and I could hear my sister just screaming and screaming. I have no idea what happened in the room, but I ran to the bottom of the stairs, and the screaming stopped. I saw my parents holding my sister, crying their eyes out, and she was sobbing as well. And I asked her about it today. She's 24 now, and she told me that Emily used to tell her to do horrible things to herself. She actually used to wake up on the roof and not remember how she got there. I'm not kidding. Apparently, Emily absolutely hated my parents, so she turned my sister against them.
Wow.
She hates talking about it, so I never brought up that specific night, but this all happened at my old house. When we moved into a different house, Emily was gone. I'm not making any of this up. My sister's little friend was a really big deal to my family and messed up things for a very long time. I'm just relieved we left that house.
Wow.
That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely stick around. Check out Paisley Wild, The Spaces Between coming up. And then following that, The Duke, World Bigfoot Radio, all on TFRlive.com. So get over there and get a chat name and password. Hang out with the Duke during his show. Hang out and listen to Paisley. Otherwise, you can check Paisley's show on her YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/The Spaces Between. And we love you guys. I don't know how much time I got left. I read that really fast.
You did.
Oh, I got two. I got 2 whole minutes.
I said you had like 3 minutes. I didn't say speed read the damn thing.
I'm sorry. I was just off to the races. We got a little more time, Don.
But damn, Emily's a mean girl.
Emily's just a jerk. I don't know what's wrong with these darn spirits, these earthbound things
They
that
just
are
make you do crazy
trying to
things.
raise havoc. It's like, let's just all get along. Let's just all be friends. That's what imaginary friends are supposed to be.
You know, yeah, and they're supposed to be friends. When you wake
That
up
sounds
on
familiar.
your roof,
Why does that sound so familiar?
if you wake up on your roof, they're not your friends. Where am I? Oh, I'm on my house.
Oh, Emily ditched me on the roof again. Dang
I
it.
hate it when she brings me up here and just leaves.
She's driving that little girl around like a moped.
Makes me
Jeez.
wonder if she really likes me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's spooky. That's spooky stuff, ladies and gentlemen. But if your kids are talking to the walls a lot, or
Get involved.
get involved, start asking questions.
What color is that?
Yeah, don't dismiss the fact that they have an imaginary friend as just a playful child expressing their psychological need for companionship. They might actually have companionship, and it's not the kind
It's
you'd
not
want.
the kind you want.
So, I don't know. It's just been an epic journey tonight, but we're absolutely
yes.
thrilled always to be here bringing you the shows. Don, it's been wonderful to have you back in the studio.
Thank you. I love being in my seat.
Yeah, it's all yours, brother. It sits there empty, but Little Wes is behind you on the shelf. So I try
We're
to
gonna have to get him a Sasquatch Chronicles shirt.
Actually, yeah, we should. I got to get a little beard for him too. Yeah, we can manscape him every once in a while.
This is the lawnmower version 2.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us tonight. We love you. Don, anything in closing?
We love you.
That's it. Don says we love you. That's the note we're going out on, ladies and gentlemen. We love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Check the show description for links. Check them out. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll be back.